If an emitter in your drip line has become clogged, perform the easy check first. Examine the outlet and see if there is any debris or dirt clogging the outlet. If there is, you can use a spray bottle and a vinegar or hydrogen peroxide solution to spot clean that emitter from the outside in. Simply align the spray bottle with the emitter outlet and spray in the tight beam so that water penetrates through the emitter and inside. This will break down the mineral scale or take care of the biofilm so that it can be flushed out of the end in your next watering cycle. If that doesn't do the trick, it might be clogged from the inside, and there's still an easy method to unclog it. What you want to do, turn on your system so water is flowing through the drip line, then firmly place your finger or thumb over the outlet hole. Hold it there for a few moments, then release. And you can tap and remove like this. This creates pressure changes and additional turbulence inside the line that can dislodge debris that's at the inlet filter of every emitter in the drip line. Once you have done this, you can remove the end cap or the goof plug at the end of the line and allow water to flush out. The velocity of the water, the turbulence in the line will take any debris that was in there and get it out the end. Because if you fix a clog in here, well, the debris is still in the line and you want it out, or it could simply clog another emitter. Regularly opening up your lines like this and running the system long enough for all the water to flush out can be a great way to remove debris and is recommended if you often get clogs, even with proper filtration. There is an advanced trick you can do if you feel comfortable doing so, and it's similar to simply placing your thumb or finger over the outlet hole. In fact, we're going to do exactly that. The method will only work if the emitter is near the end of the line like this, or if you have a second person to provide aid. All you need to do is, just like we did before, place your finger or thumb firmly over the hole, remove the outlet plug, be very careful not to lose it. Like you did before, place your finger or thumb over the outlet hole of the emitter, open the end of the line, then switch and uncover the emitter and close the end of the line. And what you want to do is alternate the two. Stopping the flow of water suddenly with your thumb or your hand creates a pretty powerful shock wave that travels up the tubing. And this shock, in addition to the turbulence already inside, can dislodge debris that is pretty well stuck in there. If the clog is stubborn and that doesn't fix it, you can cut out the emitter and splice in a new piece of drip line with an emitter using a couple simple 1/4 inch couplings. You'll need 2 couplers, a length of replacement drip line, and some scissors or cutters. You'll want to cut about 1 inch on either side of the new dripper to provide enough room for the couplers to fit. Then line that piece up with your clogged dripper so as to make a perfect fit for the new dripper. Then you'll want to check out how much the couplers will add to the length of the line and cut off an appropriate portion of the new length for a perfect fit. Then insert the couplers into each side of the new and old tubing lines. Check how the new emitter fits into the line and, if necessary, trim the tubing to adjust and match your original spacing. Then go ahead and attach each coupler to the original drip line. And that's it. An even better approach than fixing leaks as they come up is to prevent them to begin with. There are 3 main ways to prevent clogs in your drip line. And number 1 is simple and straightforward. That is proper filtration. Filtration, in addition to being the best way to prevent clogged emitters and clogged drip tape, is also something I would consider mandatory on any irrigation system. Even the cleanest city water source should be filtered when you're using it to feed your drip line. The cleanest city water can have upstream pipes in the network flaking off and sending things that end up at your spigot and then into your irrigation system, and they'll cause clogs. If you're not sure how strong a filter is, if you already have one, you can simply count how many holes there are in an inch. If you can't see the individual holes well enough to count them, your filter is probably strong enough. The second method to preventing clogs is actually something we've already kind of covered to fix clogs, and that's flushing your drip lines. Over time, any sediment or mineral content or anything in the water is going to settle inside the lines unless we flush it out. And the best time to flush irrigation lines are right after irrigation cycles or before if the water has been in there for a bit. And in addition to flushing out debris that has settled, the turbulent water flow inside, just like it does when we're fixing a clog, will dislodge any debris that's about to cause a clog, and you can flush it right out of the end of the line. A maintenance flushing cycle involves nothing more than opening up the end of your drip tape line, turning on the water, and giving the water enough time to get from your water source all the way out of the end of the line, and then a couple extra moments for the turbulence to dislodge any debris that has gotten stuck or settled. From there, you can judge based on the water quality and your particular system, but a couple extra moments for the turbulence to do its work inside is often warranted. Then you can close your drip tape lines back up and you're good to go. The best practice for flushing the lines is after every watering cycle. But of course, it's not easy to do that given our busy lives and all the things we have going on. So in reality, in actual practice, flush whenever you can. If you find yourself getting clogged emitters after a week or two of not flushing, well then flush a little bit more often than that so you prevent those clogs to begin with. If you find it inconvenient to open up the end of your lines, it might be because of the kind of end cap or end plug or closure that you're using, and some are much easier to initiate flushing cycles with than others. Coupling valves, both 1/4 inch and 1/2 inch, at the end of the drip line make flushing easy. For 1/2 inch drip line, threaded end caps or auto flush valves make life a lot easier if you find yourself getting clogs regularly. The third method for preventing clogged emitters in your drip line is drip emitter cleaner treatments, such as soaks or injections. Now this isn't as technical or as difficult or as intimidating as it first sounds. It can be as simple as wrapping up your 1/4 inch tubing and soaking it in a solution like diluted vinegar or hydrogen peroxide. This breaks down the mineral scale so that it can be flushed out during your next watering cycle. Coil up your drip line so it fits in the bowl, and then a lot of people like to use a zip tie or a twist tie so they can keep the coil tight enough to stay in the bowl. Depending on the size of your container, you can use something to ensure that all the emitters remain submerged below the liquid. If you feel comfortable doing so, you can also remove the drip line from the header row by pulling out the 1/4 inch barb, and then you can soak the entire line in your vinegar solution. Some people like to remove all their lines and soak them in a very large container so that they can do them all at once. Then you can just reinsert your drip line once it has finished soaking. Or with large gardens or 1/2 inch drip line where that may be impractical, you can inject a similar solution directly into the drip line through the irrigation system. It can be as simple as a plug-and-play fertilizer injector and a pre-made mix, like the Easy Flow Hydro Cleanse running through an Easy Flow fertilizer injector. And when they say they're chemical injections, that can also intimidate a lot of people, but these chemicals are everyday common acids that you have in your kitchen and have no doubt ingested before. And not only are they not toxic for plants when used in the right amounts, but they can actually be beneficial to the soil and bring the pH to such a level that the nutrients in your soil are more readily available to your plants. Acid treatments like this aren't used just to clean lines, although that is one of their main uses, but they're also used to treat the soil so that professional and commercial growers get better yields. So it ends up being a win-win in most cases when you need to inject treatments to break down the mineral content that is built up inside your lines. Because even with the best flushing and the best filtration, mineral content will build up slowly inside over time. Preventing clogged emitters is much better than fixing clogged emitters, and all you have to do is filter, flush, and treat.